7 years captivity, Colleen escaped from the clutches of her abductor. He was found guilty of kidnapping and sentenced to 100 years.
Our world is full of mysterious incidents as well as people. Some events are so rare that it makes your soul crumble and send shivers down your spine. The story that I am going to share with you today is just like that, and is a very suffocating one. Claustrophobia is one of the most feared phobias in the entire world. Out of all the fears, people are scared of being stuck in an elevator. Now imagine if you are trapped in a tiny box for years. What will you do? Even the thought of it might make you hysterical. But the story that I am going to tell you today is about a girl who actually spent 7 years inside a tiny box. In 1977, a 20-year-old girl, Colleen Stan, was living in Redding, California. She was the most jolly girl ever, with a passion for going out and socializing with other people. She was also fond of all types of outdoor activities. When the unthinkable happened, Colleen had spent many days hitchhiking down the Interstate 5 from her home in Eugene, Oregon, to go to her best friend's birthday party in North California. To everybody's horror, Colleen would never reach her friend's birthday party. But what happened to her?
Here I was sitting on the floor at the bottom of their bed in front of the box. And, you know, she gives me this prayer beanie to put on, and she had hers on. Of course, she was dressed, she was clothed.
May 19th, 1977, a pleasant day to be out and about. The weather was nice and it was slightly overcast that day. Nothing was peculiar or out of the ordinary. Nothing that would give Colleen a signal that danger was on the horizon. Colleen had also called herself an excellent hitchhiker, which is why she had already turned down 2 rides and kept walking alone until the ride came that would change her life forever. A few hours had passed and the big blue van pulled up next to Colleen. An innocent-looking young man was sitting in the driver's seat, with his wife sitting in the back seat of the car and their toddler fastened into the baby chair. Colleen found these people quite ordinary people. To her, these were the least sketchy people in town because they were a family who could not possibly think of harming anyone. Little did she know that this was going to be the biggest mistake of her life. The couple's name was Cameron and Janice Hooker. They seemed like honest working-class people who had fallen in love and had a baby afterwards. They lived in Red Bluff, California, and were only 22 and 19-year-olds respectively when they met Colleen. Colleen found this family quite friendly as they were as young as Colleen was. Therefore, she accepted their offer and rode with them to her friend's birthday party. Cameron started driving, but nothing strange happened except for the fact that Colleen felt a little uneasy by the way Cameron was looking at her. He stopped the car at a gas station to let Colleen get some snacks and use the restroom. It was then when Colleen's instincts told her to run away, but sadly, she returned to that blue van. The journey began again, but this time it did not last very long, as Cameron stopped the van and pulled Colleen aside with a knife to her neck. He threatened her to not scream or he'd kill her. Later, he forced her into a homemade 20-pound soundproof wooden headbox to keep her quiet. Janice Hooker bound her to the chair to make her movement stop. After that, the couple drove 31 miles back to their home and stopped only once to get fast food on their way. Now, Colleen was almost 350 miles away from her hometown in Oregon. The couple had returned home at Red Bluff, and here, 7 years of hell would begin for Colleen Stan. Cameron wasted no time in beginning his torturous rituals. He was a sadistic psychopath who had awful fantasies about young girls. His wife, Janice Hooker, helped him fulfill all his desires in order to keep her child safe. Because otherwise, Cameron would kill that child too. Colleen was already feeling dizzy due to the headbox when they rushed her into Hooker's basement, where she was stripped naked immediately. and was tortured with whips and electrical shocks by Cameron. After being done for the day, Cameron and Janice had sex right underneath Colleen's suspended body. When Colleen was out of that horror, she told the police that she was convinced that the couple was going to kill her. But to her surprise, Cameron and Janice had no intention of killing her. They just wanted to dehumanize and objectify her, which came in the form of brutal torture. Cameron was an addict of violent pornography that led him to have such fantasies. The nightmare that began for Colleen would become the highlight of this case. Colleen was forced to sleep in a coffin which had a sleeping mat, earplugs, and a few holes made for ventilation. This box would be her home for the next 7 years to come. Back in Eugene, Stan's family had filed a complaint to the police about their missing daughter. The police believed that she might be dead, as hitchhiking is not a very safe thing to do. But in the hooker's house, the torture continued, with Cameron isolating her, scaring her, and again.
For me, this house is kind of a house of horror.
This was the cycle of the day, and Cameron would give her 1 meal a day, water and few potatoes, and she was forced to defecate in a bed pot near her. Colleen was so disturbed she lost 20 pounds and even stopped menstruating. To her horror, the torture was not enough for Cameron, so he signed a slave contract with Colleen and told her if she ever rebelled against him, the company to whom the contract belongs to would kill her and her family. Cameron had played so many mind games and manipulated her that she could not even think of running away. Just like Janice, who was also a victim of Cameron's manipulation. Over the course of years, Cameron allowed Colleen to visit her family once alone and once with her as her new boyfriend. The family was suspicious of their daughter's living condition, but they did not say anything as they were happy to see her alive. Meanwhile, Janice's resentment towards Cameron was growing. Initially, Cameron did not engage in penetrating with Colleen because it would be a breach in the agreement between him and his wife. But he raped her multiple times and broke many more promises. Janice wanted to end this inhumane situation. She finally decided to let Colleen free. One day when Cameron was at work, she told Colleen that there was a company and the contract was fake. She gave her some money and asked her to take the next bus to her hometown Eugene, Oregon. Colleen did as she was told and was back with her family after 7 years of horror, while Janice went to the police station to unravel Cameron's secrets. She testified against him, and after a thorough investigation, Cameron was sentenced to 103 years in prison. This horrific case became famous because of the unnatural circumstances and the coffin box in which Colleen was forced to stay in for about 7 years. The investigations also revealed that the couple was also responsible for murdering a 19-year-old girl named Marie Elizabeth Spanhake, who they imprisoned, tortured, and later killed. This shocked the entire state of California. The absurdity of this case was simply unparalleled. Colleen had to go through an experience that people would call worse than death. Later, she had symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder and was treated for the complications that Cameron had caused to her body. After many years of therapy and treatment, she became stable and started working as a mental health professional. But the horror that she had faced would not be forgotten by anyone. It is still unclear to what extent Janice Hooker had her contributions into the torture that Cameron inflicted upon Colleen. I am sure this story made you shudder out of fear. Do you think that life could have worked out for the better if she ran away at the petrol station? For more such stories, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so that you will never miss out on our daily updates. See you next time.